What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to share with you some autographs that I recently got back in the mail. I believe all of these are vintage 1970s football. Let me just jump right into these and see what we got. Alright, this first one is postmarked from Texas, and it is a return 2 out of 4 on former Washington Redskin great Brad Dusek, and it's really blurry for a second there. And I sent him 4 total. I personally don't remember what all the cards were. There's a possibility that they were duplicates of both of those cards. I'm not positive on that. So he kept the duplicates. That's why I include them. Not complaining. Happy to get these 2 back. It's better than getting 0 back is the way I look at it. So let me tell you a little bit about Brad Dusek and his career. Brad Dusek played his college football at Texas A&M University. He was originally drafted by the New England Patriots in the 3rd round. However, he did not play any football for the New England Patriots after the 73 draft. Instead, he was picked up by the Washington Redskins, where he would play his entire career as a linebacker with the Redskins. And he spent from 1974 to 1981 as the linebacker, more or less, in the Redskins' backfield. Well, that's not the backfield, defensive backfield. Well, his first season, he played in every game. He was not a starter in 1974. However, he appeared in every game for the Redskins. The following year, he became a starter, and he appeared in every single game for the Redskins in 1975. 1976, all the way through 1979, he appeared in every single game and started every game for the Redskins. In 1980, he missed only 2 games during that season, and in his final season in 1981, he appeared in 10 games. So after his career, he moved back to Texas and bought a ranch. I believe he might work on the radio a little bit too down there, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say that I possibly sent these to a radio station, but I'm not positive on that. Very nice, long career in the NFL. You know, that spanned almost an entire decade, but not quite. And he was part of the Washington Redskins of the 70s that were a very good team. And I want to thank Mr. Dusek for signing the 2 and returning them to me. Thank you very much. All right, this next one is postmarked from New Jersey. And it is former Oakland Raider great Phil Villapiano on 1, 2, 3 on a Wonder Bread. I was just making sure that was a Wonder Bread. Sometimes I get confused with my football cards. And a 4th All-Pro linebacker card. Same picture, if you notice there, on that card and that card. Get that on screen a little bit better there. On 4 of 4. Nice, bold blue Sharpie. Well, if you are a Raiders fan watching this channel, you definitely know this guy. This guy essentially was the linebacker for the Raiders for all of the 1970s and appeared in 4 Pro Bowls for them, and of course was on the Super Bowl team that won the Super Bowl in 1977. So, man, I've been getting a lot of Raiders back over the last couple months. I probably should have just grouped them all together in one video if I would have known that. But sometimes when you open your mail, you don't know where it's coming from. Well, anyways, let me tell you a little bit about Villapiano's early part of his career. And I also want to mention that, tell me if you agree with me or not, but don't you think Villapiano sounds like an Italian restaurant? I mean, that just sounds like a place you sit down and get a trough of spaghetti or something and start going to town. But, you know, sounds like a good Italian place to me. So Villapiano played 13 seasons for the Oakland Raiders. He was originally drafted out of Bowling Green State University in the 2nd round. He played from 1971 to 1979 for the Raiders, which is essentially all of the 70s except for 1970, and finished his career playing 3 seasons with the Buffalo Bills. 4-time Pro Bowler from 1973 to 1976. He was one of the best at his position during the Oakland Raiders' heyday. This is, again, one of those players that arguably probably could be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He has been considered, since 2018 more or less, as a Hall of Famer. However, he just hasn't gotten that call for induction. According to his Wikipedia page, Phil was inducted into the Italian Hall of Fame. I mean, you got to be with a name like that, right? And is a candidate for induction to the New Jersey State Hall of Fame as well. After his playing career, it is said that Phil has been involved in many philanthropic causes, such as post-hurricane relief after Hurricane Sandy came through in New Jersey. He worked as an executive on the Jimmy V Foundation, and he's also worked in local community projects in Rumson, New Jersey, his hometown, as well as his alma mater, Bowling Green University. So, again, like I said, one could argue this guy belongs in Canton. I mean, it just seems that I've been touching base with a lot of guys that have been snubbed for their enshrinement in Canton. And I'm thinking that, I don't want to say the word weakened, but the Football Hall of Fame has changed its induction process. This was in the news a little while back when Deion Sanders went on record saying that it's kind of a joke, the process that they're putting people in the Hall of Fame now. And I have to kind of agree with Deion in that measure, because he's saying that, they're letting people in that shouldn't really be in there. And I'm not going to name any names, but there are people like this individual that are probably better than some people that have been inducted. And, I've mentioned this like with Harold Jackson in a previous video, Maxie Baughan. I brought this up, months ago in a video, that how are guys like that not even being considered and inducted in the Hall of Fame is beyond me. I don't know what the criteria is, because this guy did everything that he was supposed to. He won a Super Bowl. He was a 4-time Pro Bowler. He was one of the best at his position for years. He stayed with a franchise for almost a decade. I mean, what else do you need? As in the case with Harold Jackson, what else do you need to get enshrined? I don't understand it. Thank you, Mr. Villapiano. Hopefully you get inducted in the Hall of Fame someday, because you certainly deserve it, and hopefully some of the viewers can comment below and agree or disagree with me. Alright, this next one is also postmarked from Texas, and it actually has a return address with a handwritten name on it, so this technically would be another autograph. However, I'm not going to show that because he does share his address. Just give me a second to open it up here. And, okay. This is rather unique. Well, he wrote a nice long letter, and I'm going to share that with you in a second. However, he kind of filled the card up with everything you could imagine. So I'm going to show you. This is a first for me, guys. This is unique. Okay. First, I'm going to show you who it is, and this is former Philadelphia Eagle great Bill Bradley. He personalized it to me, and it appears that he wrote "Fly Eagles Fly, Bill Bradley, Eagles All Pro." Okay, well that's cool. I want to say that I sent 4 cards total here, but I only received 2 back. Now this is the unique one that I'm going to show you. Yeah. I don't know what else. I'm kind of speechless here. Can you write any more on a card than what this guy wrote? Now, in my letter that I sent to him, I mentioned that I didn't see him play, but he played more during my father's era. So he took that to heart and he personalized it to Dad and Joel. 34 interceptions, first one with 34 interceptions. Fly, Eagles fly, Bill Bradley, Eagles Hall of Fame. Okay, that's a lot of writing around one person's head. Now, if there wasn't more, here's kind of the funny part, I guess. He wrote all this to me as well. So I'm going to try to read this the best that I can because it's kind of all bunched together. So Joel, Bill Bradley, football player, Philly Eagles. Thank you and your dad for writing. Make me feel good, or made me feel good. First player in NFL to lead in interceptions 2 years in a row. Brian Dawkins and Eric Allen tied my record of 34 in a career. Eagles Hall of Fame, Eagles All-Pro, Texas Sports Hall of Fame, University of Texas Hall of Fame, still hold a record of 4 interceptions in a game. That's pretty amazing. Texas High School Hall of Fame. Not bad for a third third reference, I guess. Drafted as a punter player. So, okay. I hope you got all that. That was a lot to fill. I'm sure glad he didn't write that on the card because I don't think that was going to fit. So this is definitely a unique return. So let me tell you a little bit about Bill Bradley's career. And if you recall, I got Bill Bradley, the basketball player, back not too long ago as well, so a couple months ago. So let me tell you a little bit about Bill and the proud accomplishments that he had during his career. So Bill Bradley played most of his career with the Philadelphia Eagles, and then he moved on to he moved on to coach, and he still is coaching in football still to this day. He was drafted in 1969 in round 3 of the NFL draft. He immediately joined the Philadelphia Eagles and was a cornerstone, so to speak, in the Philadelphia Eagles backfield from then on. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler in 1971, 72, and 73. He was the 2 first-team All-Pro in 71 and 72 as well. And as he mentions on here, he was elected to the Eagles Hall of Fame. And I think it's just pretty amazing. I'm not going to repeat all the things that he wrote here, but he had a pretty amazing career at the University of Texas, where he was a punter, it says too, and he was drafted to be a kick returner and punter. And the safety thing also worked out a little bit for him as well. So I think it's a pretty amazing, all these accomplishments that, he wrote on here. And that's just amazing, in my opinion. And this is somebody that arguably could be a Hall of Famer as well, just like Villapiano that I was mentioning. He played for the Eagles the majority of his career, and after the 76 season, he went to the Minnesota Vikings, and he split the season between the Vikings and the St. Louis Cardinals football team. Well, after he retired from the NFL, he spent some time off. I have a gap here, but he became a assistant coach with the San Antonio Gunslingers, which was a independent team, I guess. Not really sure what they were. They were a USFL team. Excuse me. The short-lived USFL. Well, ever since 1983, Bradley has held positions in semi-pro football, independent football, we'll call it. He worked for the Texas Longhorns as alma mater. He coached in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, the San Diego Chargers. He has coached at the college ranks for years with the Lamar Cardinals, Baylor University. He coached in the CFL, the Canadian Football League, and he actually won 2 Grey Cups in the CFL as an assistant coach, or defensive back coach, I guess you would call it, or defensive coordinator. And he is currently a coach with the San Antonio Commanders of the Alliance of American Football League, which I'm not too familiar with that at all. So, very cool. This is, like I said, a unique return, that's for sure. I've never had somebody write so much on a card for me before. And like I said, I mentioned on this card, in my letter, that my dad saw him play, so he signed it to Dad and Joel. So I guess that is what it is. So if you have some Bill Bradley cards laying around in your collection, definitely consider sending him, and he'll write you a nice letter, and maybe fill your card up with all kinds of stats and other things as well. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. Thank you, Mr. Villapiano, for signing. Thank you, Mr. Dusek, for signing. I look forward to your comments below, and definitely tell me what you think about these Bill Bradley autographs. Definitely unique, wouldn't you agree? Thanks.